Greetings, my movie ghouls. Welcome to another episode of Halloween Countdown. 31 films in 31 days. I'm Nate, the ultimate movie geek. And this is my wife, Marina, Mrs. Movie Geek. Tonight, it's day 14, and we watched... I'm not saying it, because if there's a mirror in here, I'm too superstitious.
Candyman.
There you go.
I've said it 5 times.
I'm not, yeah, I know, but count it down. So basically, we had trouble getting this. We've had a bit of trouble with the films recently, but we watched about an hour and
5 minutes.
An hour and 5 minutes, and then it cut off. So we had to go back and find the clips on YouTube. So
And it's just started playing again.
It's just started playing again, and it's too late now. Yeah. So it's gone.
We've got it, and I've seen it before.
Well, I haven't. So basically, it's about a woman and her friend who are doing like a thesis on urban myths and urban legends and all that sort of stuff. And they discover that nearby is the myth of the
Candyman.
So that the main character, she follows all the clues,
trails,
the trail to this murder that has happened, and a lot of people believe that it is the
Candyman
who has done it. So yeah.
Well, her husband's a lecturer at the university, so she's like, I don't know, she's like a postgraduate or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's sort of trying to do research for his like seminars.
Yeah, it's a similar sort of thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And he's a bit of an arse, isn't he?
A bit of an arse.
Really ugly, and like girls were flocking around him for some bizarre reason.
There's hints that he's
cheating on her.
Yeah.
The main character, I think, is quite attractive, quite a pretty lady. So in real life, it wouldn't be happening. But yeah, off she goes on this like hunt.
Side quest.
And she sort of meets up with this woman who's got a baby, and she interviews her because she's a neighbour to somebody who they think was killed by the Candyman. And she talks to this young lad, doesn't she? So there's a few different things. She gets beaten up because she's in like quite a rough area. Yeah. Is it New York?
I don't know.
I think it's New York, but she's in like quite a rough area. And then the tale goes that
Seattle or something.
He's meant to have been like the Candyman was from a rich family, so he was well educated, and he was a painter. And then he'd been commissioned to do a painting, fell in love with this guy's daughter. Obviously, it's like 1870. So he was a big no-no back there, interracial relationships. She got pregnant. You don't really know what happened other than he got dragged off, like beaten to death, his arm cut off before his death, and then stung to death by bees. Yeah. So you think he just had a horrific. And like where it happened is where he's meant to come back, and people in like it looks like a ghetto almost. Yeah. It's really poor area. And they're all quite scared of him, so they don't really talk much about him. And obviously outsiders don't believe because it's just superstition. Yeah. But yeah, it kind of goes from there, doesn't it? And then she starts having these very like Dracula, and the ladies get under the. It's very
trance. It's very very Dracula. It's almost like
parts of her. There's like her eyes are lit up, like Morticia's doing in her family.
Yeah, she's almost like. His lost love.
Yeah. Well, you've got that at the beginning. At the end, that's where it comes out, and she's meant to have been the woman from years ago.
Oh, is that how it was?
Yeah. It's always been you, and there was a painting of her.
Ah, right. See.
Yeah. But like when he goes, he kind of, because she says his name. Obviously, we haven't said that. But she says his name with a friend. She says it. The friend doesn't.
Yeah.
And then she starts seeing things that don't make sense, and then She wakes up in the apartment where the woman
and the baby
lived. Now you thought that the baby had been slaughtered because
you do, yeah.
the mother's screaming over the crib. Actually, it's the dog that lived with him.
Yeah, and the dog would have been.
Yeah, and the baby's missing, so they arrest her for that. She gets released, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And while she's at home,
her friend comes around.
Her friend who she was with doing the research comes round.
While her husband has disappeared back to the office.
Again. And then the Candyman's already there, so when she goes in, she's already on the floor, like he's cut her, the main woman, and then he just rips the woman apart. And she comes to, husband's there, and obviously she's got a knife in her hand trying to defend herself.
Which is funny because she
on the floor.
Did she have a knife in her hand when
picked one
she
up
had picked it
the
up?
Police,
right.
Yeah, but then she wouldn't have still had all of it, I don't think. No. But it just made it look like she'd done all these crimes, so then she's taken into like a mental institution, sedated.
And that's where it cut off.
Yeah. And then we had to watch bits of it, and then it started again. But she escapes basically. She says, Candyman, 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 Candyman.
It's a mirror right there.
I'm fine. Might be dead tomorrow, but hey ho.
There's another one there.
So he instantly appears, kills the psychologist who she's in with. He cuts her links off, doesn't he? So she escapes out of the prison, races to a home. Husband's there because he obviously thinks she's incarcerated in this mental institution. And he's with this bit of fluff from the university. So off she goes on a hunt again. She comes across, I can't remember where she goes.
Does she go to the Candyman's left first?
Yeah, and he's sleeping. She tries to kill him, and that's when he sort of takes her and then takes her to the baby.
Bees all over her.
Yeah, it's quite weird in parts. And then they get the baby back. Well, she gets the baby back. They're burning inside a bonfire, burning on this big estate in like wherever it is. But she manages to break free from him. She sort of stabs him with like a burning
she saves
thing.
The baby, doesn't she?
Yeah, and she crawls through the baby, and she's all on fire, hair's on fire and everything. And they put her out, and she passes. Obviously she's protected the baby, so the baby's fine. And then she dies. Well,
we assume she dies.
She does die.
She does die.
And then it sort of cuts to the end, doesn't it, with the husband with his bit of fluff in the, he moved on quickly.
Very, very 90s because she's not wearing a bra.
Yeah.
And a see-through t-shirt.
White t-shirt, yeah. And he's in the bathroom crying over her, but quietly because his new bit of stuff's in the front room.
And he says something.
Yeah, and he says her name a few times because he's like mourning his wife, Helen. And then he says it, he turns the light off and he says it again, and she appears like the Candyman, so then it's...
She's got his hook as well.
Yeah, she's got his hook. She hasn't got it jabbed in her arm, she's just holding it.
Which is all burnt hair and whatnot.
And that is the Candyman in a nutshell. There's a few more bits chucked in, but we won't. I've seen it before.
I haven't seen it before. I think I remember it being on Channel 4 years ago. And I think I glanced and watched it, but with the big scaredy cat that I am, I would have turned back over. If it had been on a different scene, I'd have probably watched it.
Yeah, he's got a very distinctive voice, I think.
Tony Todd.
Yeah, I actually can't remember it all. And I didn't enjoy it loads, but I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to.
I enjoyed it more than I thought.
And I mean, the version we got, it was horrendous.
Yeah, it was bad
We've
quality.
got a really big TV, and it was like really bad quality. I mean, back in like 80s and 90s, whenever it was released,
90s.
I'm sure it was better than that.
Yeah. Well, even the stuff on YouTube that we looked at was
a lot
clearer. So, but it was all right. It was very, very 90s down to the style of the clothing and everything like that. But it is. You could even call it just an 80s slasher film.
Yeah, it's just blood and gore, isn't it?
Yeah,
really?
But you don't really see him until about halfway through the film when he appears in the car park in broad daylight. It's one of those. I could picture it being a good film. If I'd have watched it back then, I think I would have liked it. But under the circumstances today, I didn't really.
I think I watched it and I was only really young.
Yeah.
Well, I would have been really young. And I think I can remember being a bit scared, and we used to me and my friends used to mess each other and go, "Oh, you say Candyman," like you thought it was going to happen, even though it was a film. But I did enjoy it. I didn't absolutely love it, and it is a bit dated. I definitely won't be going out my way to watch again. But
Sequel
it's
next
all
year.
right. It holds it own.
It does.
It's better than the I always go back to Friday the 13th because they're so popular. And when you compare them, I'd rather watch that than the Friday the 13th 3D.
Yeah, it had a little bit more substance than the Friday the 13th films, because it had a backstory and it had a bit of history.
I think I remember the second one a bit more. So
yeah.
Maybe we'll have to watch that next year.
Maybe we'll watch that next year.
I'm going to give it a 3. It was alright. The acting's alright. I recognise the lady, I can't think what she's called, the main character. She used to be in loads of stuff years ago. And the acting is alright, to be fair, because we've watched some really hammy stuff recently. So it was quite refreshing. I watched a film where everybody actually
could act.
And it was
sinister villain as well, I think.
Yeah.
Quite again like
and again, it was
Dracula.
grimy as well.
Yeah.
It was like the scenes, the back, like where she gets hit where it's meant to be. It's all like grimy and horrible and dirty, a bit like Saw and Seven.
Yes.
So yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I'm going to give it a 3.
I'll probably give it a 3 as well. I enjoyed it. I think it would have been nicer to have watched it on a clearer screen, and watch the full thing as well.
Watching the fire stick. It's like I said, it's like having bifocals, like your granddad's bifocals or something. Everything was a bit.
Maybe it was in 3D. Maybe we needed the glasses. I don't know.
Never thought of that.
Day for what day is it?
Today, tomorrow, 14.
Right, I'm not too sure.
No,
15.
14 today, 15 tomorrow.
Right, I'm not too sure what I'm not too sure what it is. It's what we can find.
Yeah, the list is going a bit here.
We may even detour? No.
Jump
go to different list. I don't know. We'll see. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share the videos. And we will see you tomorrow night. Don't say Candyman in the mirror. No, don't do it. Don't do Bloody Mary either. It's silly. Was that 3 times?
Yeah.
Bloody hell. Sleep tight. Candyman. 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 Candyman.
What are you